Old saying, it goes, you can't talk about the ocean with a frog who lives in a well. Let me tell you about the ocean. Oh my God, it's huge. It's deep. Huh? You can sail across it for weeks and never get to the end. Yeah, right. I mean, the ocean is so deep that there are fish that live far down below that generate their own light. What do you mean by fish? Listen, you can't talk about the ocean with a frog who lives in a well. And you can't talk about your dreams with someone who doesn't have the ability to see. See, some people are so narrow-minded, they could look through a keyhole with both eyes. Helen Keller said it best, some people are born with sight, but no vision. But don't get upset, it's not their fault that they can't see, because God, the universe, whatever name you want to call it, has given you and only you the gift of sight. Nobody else, they can't see it, they won't be able to see it. This is a law like gravity. Michael Jordan was not the first pick in the draft, wasn't even the second pick. They couldn't see his greatness. Recruiting expert.
With your ambition to make money, you sacrifice my well-being, which makes no sense in the least. Because when I get sick, you sacrifice that same money to recuperate me. And what's even more ironic is with all your interest in profit, you can't even see the truth. That I'm worth over $1 billion. Don't believe me? Okay, I'll prove it. If someone came to you with a check for $1 million, right? And said, here, all I want in return is your eyesight. You will never be able to see another sunset for the rest of your natural life. Would you take that deal? Okay, let's up the bid. Suppose he had a check for $10 million instead. And if you accepted, you would no longer have use of your arms or legs. Would you take that deal? I can answer that for you. No. See, those are silly options because you know that as your body, I am worth over $1 billion. And don't get me started with the heart. I mean, if I was a company, right? This heart wouldn't get employee of the month. It would get employee of the life. Because throughout your entire existence as a person, your heart never stops working. Even when you're sleeping, it doesn't stop beating. That's every second, every minute, every day. And come to think of it, I can't recall you ever saying thanks. Anyway, I don't want this to come off as rude. Just asking for a little attention here, dude. I know you try to make me look perfect when you're Instagramming, but we both know you've been taking me for granted. Consider this an opportunity. Creativity, individuality, and being intellectually abusive. He's an ancient institution that has outlived his usage. So, Your Honor, this concludes my opening statement, and if I may present the evidence of my case, I will prove it.
Proceed.
Exhibit A. Here's a modern-day phone. Recognize it? Here's a phone from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Stay with me. Here's a car from today, and here's a car from 150 years ago. Big difference, right? Well, get this. Here's a classroom of today, and here's a class we used 150 years ago. Now, ain't that a shame? In literally more than a century, nothing has changed. Yet you claim to prepare students for the future? But with evidence like that, I must ask, do you prepare students for the future or the past? I did a background check on you and let the record show that you were made to train people to work in factories, which explains why you put students in straight rows, nice and neat, tell them sit still, raise your hand if you want to speak, give them a short break to eat, and for 8 hours a day, tell them what to think. Oh, and make them compete to get an A. A letter which determines product quality, hence grade A of meat. I get it. Back then, times were different. We all have a... Quit letting people who have proven it they don't really care about me get to me. I quit hanging out with friends who on most days I couldn't tell you if they're friends or enemies, draining my energy. I quit letting society's expectations and timetables pressure me, direct my destiny and stress me. I quit forgiving everyone else in the whole world except me. I quit wanting the cool kids to accept me. I quit not saying what's on my mind at important times, letting fear come near and suppress me. I quit being so emotionally tied to the likes and shares of people I barely know online. I quit self-doubt and self-sabotage. I quit being a screw-up and a gonna-doer. I quit sleepwalking through life instead of living my dreams. I quit waiting for ducks to line up instead of spreading my wings. I quit not giving 100%. I quit dimming my light so that others won't have to squint. I quit peer pressure and people-pleasing. I quit the prison of perfection. I quit the fear of failure and the fear of success. I quit hesitation, desperation, expectations, devastations. I quit.
For the past several weeks, I've been here in Africa, the heart of Africa, witnessing the horrific destruction of the rainforest, which inspired me to write this piece. Why are forests being destroyed at such an enormous rate? For this. Today we live in a world where destroying trees makes you money. So what can we, normal people, do about it? One way to directly fight the destruction is to stand for trees. By standing for trees, not only can you save the lives of trees, help forest communities, and protect the rights of animals to live in their homes, but you will also balance the amount of pollution that you yourself give off with your everyday activities, making you a part of the solution and not the problem. This is the option that I chose. But whatever way that you choose to stand for trees, do it. Because a wise man once said, when the rivers are all dried up and the trees cut down, man will then realize that he will not be able to eat money.